Welcome to Supercharging Your Communication with ChatGPT for powerful emails, irresistible headlines, and unforgettable content. And this has been always like a in-demand ask for me is to do trainings around ChatGPT. And I actually use this. It's one of the tools that I've been using now for months, and I don't think that I can get enough of it until something better comes out that I want to use. So what I wanted to do is first ask if you have an email or a social media content or something that you're working on or you'd like to work on this week or this month. So just be thinking about that, because at the end, when we do the workshopping part, we can go through some examples of things you're already working on. And then what do you need support with? So just be thinking about that. If there's anything in particular, you can go ahead and type it into the chat. And I wanted to go ahead and just be mindful of that and just see if there's anything I can support you with today. All right. Actually, you know what else is a good question? I should have added this. I just thought of it. If there's something you want to learn or you want me to do a training on, type that in the chat as well. And then I can dedicate an entire training just on that. All right. So what's the agenda for today? We're going to talk about best tactics for creating catchy messaging, tips for grabbing attention with headlines and subject lines, tips for writing powerful emails, workshopping using ChatGPT, upcoming events, and then a tip that I wanted to just say here before we start is just to be open and take whatever is useful and apply it to your brand. Not everything is going to apply for you every single time, but maybe there's a little nugget that you learned today that you put in the back of your mind that, let's say if you're creating a post in a month from now, you're like, oh, I remember what Alexandra said about that. And I want to make sure that I apply that next time I post. So once again, your voice matters, your purpose matters, and your message matters. And we are here because we are the Visibility Voices. Now is your time. It's our time to be boldly seen and heard. And it's my mission to help you do that and be that. Okay, so first I wanted to start, this is just a quick recap, but I feel like it's so important because I see my own clients and I see colleagues doing this, even the ones that have heard me say this, and even the ones that I've supported, still make some little, I don't want to say mistakes, but still sometimes do these or don't do these things. Okay, so I don't think it can be said enough. So my acronym for STARES, I included a photo this time. STARES, when you think about staring, right? You're really focused on something. And I could have included like a hawk and a mouse, but I decided, I'm like, you know what? Let's keep it high and positive. Let's think of a dog, right? A dog who is staring at a tree is super focused on what it wants. And a very wise dog knows what to do to get the owner to give him a treat or her a treat. So STARES stands for, especially when we're talking about messaging, when we create messaging for our brand, we want it to be specific, focused, tangible. So, for example, in the case of the treat, right, there's something very specific. If a dog is just staring in general, you don't know what the dog wants or what the dog needs. So having that, that focused attention helps you to understand what the person wants, or what, in this case, the dog wants. A stands for audience focused. So we always want to keep our audience in the back of our mind. Relevant or timely. It doesn't always have to be relevant or timely. Sometimes there is what's called evergreen content, and evergreen content is content that can live on for years and years and years, and it's still relevant, but it's not necessarily timely, like urgent. But if you're creating messaging that's urgent, that usually helps a lot. And so just as an example, and I'm just thinking of, let's say, headlines and captions and subject lines, when you say something like upcoming event, or breaking news, or today, event today, or tomorrow. Whenever you add a timeliness factor there is an urgency that makes you want to it evokes curiosity and makes you want to read it or click on that content. The E stands for emotional reaction. If your content is creating an emotional reaction to the reader, the viewer, whoever is consuming it, they're going to want to consume it. More likely that they're going to want to consume it versus more stale content, right? So if somebody has an option to go for something that's kind of like very vanilla, or as my former boss used to say, pistachio is different. It's interesting, right? So, and by the way, something like pistachio, people either like or they don't like, right? So it evokes an emotional reaction. And then the last S in the stairs is simple. I added this at the end because a lot of times I've done this myself and many of my clients just can't keep it simple. We want to overcomplicate. We want to add extra fluff that's not necessary. And when we simplify it down to the core, the messaging is going to land, it's going to be more impactful. And so this is important because there's a lot of clutter nowadays. And so what I recommend is whenever you're creating a message, a headline, a subject line, something, whatever it is, that you try to have 2 or more of the stairs in your messaging to be most impactful. Like I mentioned, adding timeliness or urgency, like breaking news or, event tonight, something that evokes urgency can be really helpful. That could be a great combination or add-on to just a general headline. And then I can't say this enough. Last time in last month's training, I said to not use it, and I'm going to just have a caveat to that. Sometimes, if you have a really engaged audience and you have like your own double meaning or you've created your own terms for things, sometimes those cute, funny, or double meanings could land for your audience. So if it's applicable for your audience and you know it will make an impact for your audience, then yes, use it sparingly. But if you want to reach a wider audience, simpler and clearer is best. Okay, so now let's talk about optimizing headlines and subject lines and caption starters, okay? So the most important thing, and I've done lots of trainings on like how to go viral with your videos, how to create captivating content, how to basically anything that really has to do with like increasing your views, increasing your viral factor, in creating engaging and captivating content. It like the focus is always on grabbing the attention quickly. And so depending on the type, whether it's a caption or a headline or a subject line, it's going to be sometimes between 3 to 10 words. Of course, there could be a subject line that's 1 or 2 words, or a headline that might be 1 or 2 words. But usually it's somewhere between 3 to 6, or like let's say 5 to 7 words. And then a headline might be a little bit longer. It might be up to 10 words. And a caption might be a little bit longer. But I'm just kind of giving you some like parameters. The point is that we don't want to have a paragraph, right? We want to really keep it tight and really keep it focused. So if you can evoke curiosity, that's what's going to get people to open your email. That's what's going to get people to watch your video when they see a headline, that there's a caption there, or there's words or whatever it is that's going to evoke their curiosity. There needs to be something that makes them say, either this is for me, or what is this? I need to see this, right? And back to the STAIRS acronym, right? There's so much clutter. We need to do a better job of understanding our audience and what would be interesting and what would have that curiosity factor for them. So I use ChatGPT to create headlines, at least as a starting point, to create headlines, subject lines, and other messages. And it's because, I've said this before, I'm a decent writer, I'm a good writer, and I use ChatGPT to get other ideas. And so ChatGPT has helped me as a starting point, and it helps to become more creative or think a little bit outside of the box. So when you're creating subject lines and headlines, I recommend that you come up with 3 alternates before you choose the final. At least 3. You might come up with a few more. Because sometimes, my creative flow, I sometimes do a first pass at writing something, and then I'll come back to it and I'll say, oh, you know what? I really wanted to, I'm changing my headlines all the time. I'm always tweaking them and coming back. And so I think that it's really helpful to come up with a few alternates before you choose your final one, because maybe you can even find the best in each of them and maybe create one stellar, outstanding headline. And again, remember, we need these headlines and subject lines to evoke that curiosity so that people consume your content. And the more people that consume your content, the more followers you have on social media, the more people that take action through your emails and on social media. And so we want to widen that reach. That's why it's important to create that curiosity, to get people to open. And then there's a pro tip I have here. And it's that I often start my captions, like the long text, let's say on Facebook or Instagram posts or TikTok posts. I often start that text caption with a catchy headline. So I use the headline for, let's say for YouTube, I use that headline, which is capped at 100 characters, as the first sentence in my caption to get that curiosity. And I'm going to show you an example in just a second. So this is, let me move. If you can't see the arrow, let me know in the chat, please. So this is for my true crime channel. And I actually did this. I posted this last night. It was pretty late. And I posted this about a little boy who went missing with his dog and he was found, right? Great news, good news. And the caption starts with these little emojis. And it says, dramatic rescue of missing 4-year-old boy and dog found safe in New Jersey. That line is the headline of the same video on YouTube. And that video has gotten thousands of views on YouTube. So I know it's a good hook, right? That's another good way of saying, and I've used this in some of my trainings before, to grab the attention, you need that fast hook. And sometimes that caption or that headline or that subject line is the hook. Sometimes if it's a video, sometimes the video has a hook in the first 3 seconds. But whatever it is, you need to grab the attention in 3 seconds. And so this was a good hook. And out of probably, this video since last night has already gotten almost 3,000 views, which is very good, right? And on top of that, this one has probably the most engagement of any post that I've done this is on Instagram. So this is possibly my most engaged post that I've had so far. Because look, there's 350, there's more now. I've got almost 400 likes on this video that I posted last night. I've got dozens of comments. People are saving it, they're forwarding it. So this is one of my most engaged posts. And so the video itself is engaging, but that little caption that I put there at the top, dramatic rescue, is what did it. I'm convinced that that's what did it, because it evokes curiosity. And I could have tweaked it to not say that they were found safe. I could have tweaked it to just talk about, maybe a boy missing. But I think it's the rescue part that piques their curiosity. So that's what I did for this post. Now, what I didn't take my advice on my branding channel. And I posted this yesterday and it didn't do so well. And what I did is I didn't do that headline grabbing first sentence. And I just started with, in this video, we discuss how to use ChatGPT to improve your headlines and get more views on your videos. It's boring. It's vanilla, right? It doesn't grab your attention in 3 seconds or less. So while I was preparing for this, I looked at that and I said, okay, Alexandra, I need to take my own advice. So I just changed it. And I took the headline from the video that I posted on YouTube, and I can improve this, but it's better than it was in the other one, right? So this one has this little emoji of the eyes, the eyes bulging out, and it says, create captivating headlines with ChatGPT to boost your views and amplify your visibility, right? So let me go back to the previous one. Here it's very wordy. In this video, we discuss how to use your blah, 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 Here we just get right to it. Create captivating headlines with ChatGPT. I could have probably even stopped right there, but I give a benefit. Boost your views and amplify your visibility. So what do you think about the two? Is there anything else, any other observations just between the three, the one of the boy missing and found, and this one that I did with this video on create captivating headlines? Any observation that you'd like to share, or like an aha that you had from that? You can type it in the comments, or you're welcome to unmute and speak.
Yeah, I noticed that that with the boy, that's timely, and it was captivating, got your attention, and I think you did the same thing with that second
Mm-hmm.
line on, yeah, that one. I like the creating captivating headlines
Mm-hmm.
with ChatGPT. I like the whole thing. So
Right.
yeah, the other one was vanilla and boring and wouldn't attract too many people. But
Right.
the only thing is, I think you ChatGPT gives you that it's timely kind of, but you might even want to put something else like now,
Mm-hmm.
word now or something like that
Yeah.
in there.
Yes.
But very
Right.
good.
Mm-hmm. And so actually this one, believe it or not, this is actually a little bit old, the video. It's about 3 months old. However, for every single one of my true crime posts, that's something breaking news, I always put breaking in there because that is intriguing. There's urgency, timeliness. People want to know. It evokes curiosity. So absolutely, I wanted to give an example of different genres because I know not everyone's in different genres, right? And everybody's in different categories of content. So that's
You
why
might even be able to put breaking news on that one for ChatGPT because it's pretty relevant still right now.
that's true. Yeah, that's a good point. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you see so that's a good one. Yeah, like definitely. So timeliness. So you see in that STARS acronym, adding the timeliness factor adds the relevancy, and the timeliness factor really can help. It's just an extra boost, right? It's an extra hook that you can add that without it, you wouldn't necessarily get that boost. So now that I've changed the headline or the caption in this Instagram post, now I'll go back and look to see how I do, right? Look, I got barely any likes on this one. As compared to the last one, which was just, I kept on getting notifications on that post, kept on getting notifications. You like, a comment, a comment, and comment. I mean, that one was like, that one will definitely go, I think, viral. It'll probably get more than 10,000 views if it hasn't gotten that already. So, and that's just another interesting point I just wanted to make. A lot of times people wonder, like, why do I want my video to go viral? Why do I care if nothing's going to happen? If you go viral on a post, you're more likely to, at the very least, get followers. And when you increase your followers, that increases your social proof and credibility. And it'll just help, right? And also having a viral post also makes you look more credible as well. It's just psychological, right? And I've said this to many of you before. I'm starting my channels from scratch. So I'm teaching you what I'm doing, what's working and what's not working. I don't already have, 100,000 followers on this channel. I've got currently, I think it's about 350 followers on this channel. And so I'm seeing what's working directly from a small channel standpoint, not somebody who already has the credibility with this platform already. So I think that that's a lot more helpful than somebody who's been had a channel for 20 years or whatever, and already has, hundreds of thousands or millions of followers. Yes, it's inspiring. And I have mentors that have that because that's where I want to get to. But also we need to learn the day-to-day stuff that's going to get us there. And I think that these are little tips that are going to help you get there. Okay.
And
So
I think I just wanted to add one thing to that, Alex.
sure.
I think that people have to keep in mind stuff that worked 20 years ago, 10 years ago, or even 5 years ago will not work today. So you got to be always willing to adjust. And I know you say that too.
Mm-hmm. Right. Learn new stuff, learn new tools and, techniques. Absolutely. Yes. And that's why I'll get a mentor who's already done it. And also I follow who's doing it. Right. Because once again, I'm actually going to do a video soon about, what was the topic? It was about, how to get to your first 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. And I did it the consistent, methodical way, but there's another way to do it. And it's post really controversial stuff, have a very strong opinion, and post a lot of content on that with your really strong opinion. And even if people hate it, you will find people who will love it and will find you, follow, and you'll get subscribers, right? So that's the super fast way to do it. And I've seen people do it that way. And then there's the more methodical way, right? And I did it the more methodical way because I'm out of integrity with doing the controversial way. That's just not me. But if that's you, you can definitely get subscribers that way and followers if you go that route. Okay, so let me continue. All right. So I hope that those examples were helpful. And so let's talk about email. So when I put the poll in the group, in the Facebook group about what you wanted to learn the most about for using ChatGPT, and headlines and email came out on top. So the second piece that I wanted to talk about, so we talked about with headlines and subject lines and captions, we want to grab the attention quickly, have a hook. With email, of course, with your subject line, you want to have a hook as well, which we talk about. That's like the short form. But with just a bigger picture strategy, we need to be consistent when we create content. And so what I love about ChatGPT is that it gives us a way to create consistent emails, because if you're out of sight, you're out of mind. It's just the way that it is. So we need to create consistent content for our email audience. And there's lots of gurus who say this, that your email list is a buyer's list. They're the most likely to buy from you are people who are on your email list. So we want to be in their presence. We want to continue to provide value. And if you email consistently, it's more likely you're going to get less people unsubscribing, right? So there's kind of like a balance. There's research that shows if you post too much, like if you post multiple times a day, you could get unsubscribes. And then there's like if you don't post enough, so if you post every 2 months, you get unsubscribed. So there's got to be some balanced middle there. So once again, we go back to stairs. We want to create content that is specific, tangible, audience focused, relevant, emotionally connects, and is simple. And that is what makes it valuable to your audience. And the more valuable it is to your audience, the more likely there is to be a conversion. And by conversion, that could be if you're selling something, that could be booking calls with you, if you're a consultant or a coach, if you have a social media channel you want people to go to, whatever your call to whatever your call to action is, you're more likely to get conversions when you're providing lots of value. So what I do, I started using ChatGPT to help me write a series of emails. I don't have a problem coming up with one email. I have a problem being consistent, consistently creating email. And if I have that problem, then I'm sure a lot of other people have that problem as well. Or we'll call it a challenge and an opportunity, right? So I use ChatGPT, like I said, to come up with series of emails so that I never run out of ideas. And I want you to do this as well. And even if you've got 10, 10 email people in your email list, whatever it is, you have to start somewhere. And starting somewhere and being consistent is the key. So being consistent. Okay. So this is basically, I'm going to go through a few ways to optimize ChatGPT, and then we're just going to dive in and workshop it. Okay. This was a little bit of a shorter training as far as like content. And then I just wanted to workshop because I feel like there's more value in actually getting in there, getting dirty and creating it than in just me telling you what to do. So brainstorming ideas, my best advice is to use any type of AI software. And if it's free, all the better. ChatGPT is free and it's already well known in the industry. But I urge you to just make sure that your commands are specific to get the best targeted results. In fact, I should probably add there, make sure that your commands stare, right? So that you add specificity, your audience and all of that. And I'm going to get some specifics now in a second. So let's start with headlines. And if you think about what sold newspapers back in the day, they were headlines is what sold newspapers. And yes, maybe you don't want to always have shock and awe, but yes, things that created curiosity, that there was a hook that grabbed your attention, is what got people to buy newspapers. So what I do to optimize ChatGPT is I'm specific, very specific in when I ask for a headline. You want to have a specific topic and subject. You want to include a character or word limit. So, for example, I already know on YouTube that the character limit is 100 characters. And if I didn't have that character limit, then I might say, let's say 7 or 8 words. Or maybe you want it shorter. Maybe you want it to be 3 words or 4 words. Whatever it is, make sure that you're specific about it. I asked ChatGPT for a catchy headline. Sometimes, if I already have a good headline, I might say, improve this YouTube headline. So I'll either say catchy or improve. And ChatGPT kind of knows that that means to make it more interesting, more captivating. You can come up with your own word if you test it out. This is what's worked for me. And then I ask for 3 or more options. Because sometimes if you don't ask them for options, it'll just give you 1 and it's okay. But remember back a few slides ago, I said, try to have 3 options, at least 3 options when you have headlines. And then if you need to include specific keywords, make sure that you include that in your description. Okay. And we're going to go in just a few minutes and we're going to workshop it. But let's, this is an example of I did this, just what I did in the past, in this last slide. I had a post that should have done really well on YouTube. And it ended up only getting 100 views in the first 12 hours. And I was really disappointed because I did a lot of work on that video. And in this class a couple of months ago, I did exactly what we did in the last slide. I tweaked the headline. I asked to improve the headline. I posted a better headline. The new headline went into the algorithm of YouTube. YouTube did its little thing, and I went up within the hour. I went from 100 views to 1,900 views, 1,930. So definitely that worked to tweak the headline. So this is something I 100% recommend if you haven't been getting the views on and by the way, this works for every platform. You can change, you can tweak verbiage, add keywords, and that could help improve your views, your visibility for your posts. Okay, so that is headlines. And then there's emails. And so again, I give very specific commands. And we're going to go through some examples now when we go right into ChatGPT. We need to know, you need to add the topic of the email. Make sure you tell them your audience. I like to include an example or a story. That's like that emotional reaction we were talking about. There needs to be some pull so that your audience resonates with what you're talking about. Whether it should be persuasive. So if you're trying to sell something, maybe you want to make it a persuasive email. You want to say how many emails are in the series. And you want to include a call to action. And try to be specific about all of these things. It's going to get you the best results. So yesterday, I actually wrote an email that I sent out, and I used ChatGPT. And this is what I wrote. Write an email that includes a link to this video called Supercharge Your YouTube Views, Unlock the Power of ChatGPT for Irresistible Headlines. And include an email subject line and subtitle. Include a call to action to join the Visibility Academy to watch the training tomorrow. And then I included some bullet points about what it was about. Include a quick story at the beginning about how I used ChatGPT to go from 100 views to 2,000 views in 1 hour when I used ChatGPT to tweak my YouTube headline. Email signed by Alexandra. So what I just talked about, the example from that other view, is what I used, is the example I used in the email. And so ChatGPT gave me a template email to use. And it was, I would say it was a B. So if I had to grade it, it was a B. It didn't exactly hit the mark of what I wanted, but it gave me a baseline. And then I was able to say, I don't like this I deleted an entire paragraphs or a few entire paragraphs. And I said, I don't like this. I added this, but you know what? Again, I'm a good writer. So I kind of know what I want. And so I was able to tweak it. If you're not that good of a writer, or you don't have, or it's hard for you to come up with emails as a starting point, the ChatGPT emails are good enough. Like I said, it's a B. That's good enough, right? They're well written. And maybe you just kind of tweak a little something here or there. And but you've got it. Now, this was just one email. What we're going to do in a second is we're going to create a series of emails, because what I want us to do is have consistency in our communication, especially in email and on your social media platforms. Okay, so now we go your turn, which is really our turn because we can use other examples. I want you to choose, is there an email or a social media content that you'd like to create? And go ahead and type it in the chat if there's something specific that you'd like to create. So for example, maybe you want to create an email series for a challenge you're creating. And actually, I think I'm going to do that. I think I might create a challenge. Or if you have a video that you want to post and you want to create that quick hook at the beginning, and you want to create a good headline and a good hook, we can come up with something. So go ahead and type in the chat what it is that you'd like, and I'll go ahead and start with ChatGPT. We'll go through some examples together, and I just ask if you can provide the feedback. Okay, so let me pull up. And I'm going to add, so just so everybody knows, I go to chat.openai.com, and you have to be registered. So, or log in. So you have to be registered, and I'm already logged in, already saved. Okay. So I'm going to start with the email series because that's something that I know I'm going to be doing. I want to create a challenge. I'm not sure yet what it's going to be about. Specifically, actually, you should know what you want it to be about before you create an email series, right? So maybe we can kind of workshop this together. So, why don't you answer? Could you unmute and let me know what's something you really want to, like, you'd really love to have a training on?
One thing I had thought of when you put it up, how you put up the just go back a couple of slides and I'll tell you. It was the one where it showed how you went to 1900.
Mm-hmm.
How did you get there?
This one?
Yeah, it's like I don't know how to get there. The analytics, have no
Yes.
clue. I used to know a long time ago, but I don't remember for the life of me. It's probably easier now.
Oh, so you know what? I mean, I probably wouldn't do this as an entire challenge, but I think that maybe next month's training could be about analytics. And I know a
Yeah,
lot of
that's
people
what I was
find
thinking.
that maybe a little boring, but I'm excited about analytics because it helps me improve my content.
Absolutely.
It helps me
It
get
helps you
better.
find your people. It helps you
Right.
do a lot of things.
Like, for
And people
example,
don't take advantage
on
as much.
this one, if on YouTube, and you could do this on Instagram as well, it tells me how many people subscribed from this video. If I
Yeah,
got
that's
one
great.
person subscribed, you know, it's
Mhm.
okay. But, if I get 10 or more people subscribed from a video, I know that that hit the mark, that that's a good video because people
Yeah,
have subscribed. So that's always a good indication. And I wouldn't have known that without analytics.
right.
So maybe what I can do is do analytics um for Instagram, for YouTube, and for TikTok.
Yeah, that sounds good.
And
Because
then
I think
tips,
that a lot of people.
like something I actually really I found out because I had kind of taken a step back on Instagram until I posted my true crime channel on there. And I'm really starting to familiarize myself again with the insights. It's called insights in on YouTube. It's called analytics. In Instagram, it's called insights. And learning about what content, how many on Instagram, it tells you how many likes, how many comments, how many people saved it, how many people shared it, how many followers you got from that content. That's really valuable information.
Yeah, it
And
is.
and now I know, okay, well, this type of content really resonates with my audience. Well, surprise, surprise, I create more content in that, and I get more views, and I get more followers and subscribers, right? So it's just
Yeah,
like it's definitely a know your audience, follow your audience. This is applicable for social media, and it's applicable for your business in general. If you do more of what your audience likes, you're going to get more buyers. You're going to get more action from your audience, more conversions. So thank you for sharing that because I really like that idea.
yeah.
Think,
And one other thing I wanted
sure.
to add to what you said was um, when you're talking about Chat GPT, yeah, it is a solid B copywriter. But you have to remember, you don't know if you're hiring a level A or B unless they tell you. what they are. And most B levels aren't going to tell you they're a B level. So feel free to use ChatGPT because it's pretty good.
Right. That's an excellent point. Like if you're going to pay for
Yeah, I'm
a
going to pay.
copywriter,
I'd rather get a free ChatGPT. What you can do, and is probably the best of both worlds, is create B level stuff in ChatGPT. Then you can always send it to an A level copywriter who could tweak it for you. And
right?
it won't cost you nearly as much because it's like to create stuff from scratch for a copywriter is going to cost you a whole lot more than just tweaking something. Because if they're good, they can tweak an email in just a matter of minutes.
Right. And good copywriters know this, and they'll, like, especially the ones who have integrity, and
Hmm.
they'll charge like a good, like a good rate to improve the email rather than having to do it from scratch.
Exactly.
So it's also less time for them too.
Exactly.
So in the end, it's a good, win-win.
Hmm.
Okay. So, but let's just say, okay, so you said analytics.
Yeah.
Um, if let's say if I had to do a 5-day challenge on something that I've been talking about lately, what
Hmm.
do you think? This is why I like doing polls.
Right.
Because I get feedback and people are like, "Okay, I like this, I like this, I like that." Because I always like something there's like a conversion factor to it, right? Like,
Hmm.
like what I like about using ChatGPT is that you can improve your like exactly what we talked about today. Improve your headlines so you get
Yeah.
more views and more followers, subscribers, and improve your email series so that you can create consistency so that you can get you basically feed your buyers list.
Hmm.
Um okay, well I guess it doesn't have to, you know what? It doesn't have to be it doesn't have to be a challenge. It could just be a series of emails that I'm posting for visibility. Okay, so let's say I want to do 2 emails per week for the next 4 weeks. So email series, I'm going to say create an email series of 8 emails with each email. Okay, on the topic, on the topic of increasing oops, your visibility. Each email will have one new tip on increasing your visibility. The audience, remember, we have to add the audience. The audience is female entrepreneurs. And each email will have a story of a client who has used the tip to improve or grow ability. Oh, it just started raining real hard from 1 second to the next. Okay, so let me go back to the PowerPoint. And what did I say here? I said topic, include the audience, include an example or a story, whether it should be persuasive, how many emails are in the series, which I said, and a call to action. Okay, so I'm gonna say persuasive.
Yeah, I would say create a persuasive email series.
Create a persuasive email series of 8 emails on the topic of increasing your visibility. Each email will have one new tip on increasing your visibility. The audience is female entrepreneurs. Each email will have a story of a client who has used a tip to grow her visibility. And what was the other thing? And call to action. Call to action. Okay, actually, before we say that, most likely I'll have a video link. There will be a video link to learn more on that tip, because I've been using that as a way to grow my YouTube, right? So you see, like, when you optimize all of these different pieces together, everything supports everything else. So
Yeah, that's a great tip.
my
Great tip.
email usually includes a link to a video on my YouTube. So I'm growing my YouTube, I'm getting more views, and I'm growing my YouTube presence, my subscribers on YouTube as well. I just got a couple of subscribers from the email that I sent yesterday. So
Nice.
yay! There will be a video link to learn more on that tip. Call to action at the end is to learn more about the Visibility Voices Academy. And you think of anything else, Tony? Let's have that as a starting point.
Yeah, I think that's good.
Okay. Okay, so what this one did, interestingly, this is the first time this has ever happened. So this is why I wanted to make sure we did this together. Look what they did. Because my directions, my commands were that each email had the same format. That it included an example and it included a video. It created a template for me. And so here at the end, it says, note, please use this template as a reference and customize it with the necessary details for each email in the series, including the story of a new client, the video link, and the call to action.
I've never seen it do that before.
In a sense, it does make sense.
Yeah.
Because of my commands. So that's why it's important to be mindful of the commands. So this is great, actually. I'm going to save this in my drive, in my notes drive, and I can have it as a template for any time I want to create something similar, which is a story, an example from one of my clients, and a new visibility tip and a video. Like if I'm going to be using that same template, then shoot, right? Like rinse and repeat if it works.
Yeah.
Not what I wanted though.
No, but people have to remember when they do that and they ask for a story, don't use the one ChatGPT made up. Use a real person that you know, that you help.
And I think that's why they're like, well, we're not going to make up 8 stories.
Yeah.
I think that's why they decided to do that. And let me just turn on my air. All of a sudden, when it starts to rain, it gets muggy. Welcome to Florida.
Yeah, but usually you have to ask for a template. So I think it's great they gave you one.
So what I'm going to do is so I have that. You see, now we learn together. This is something you and I have not seen this yet. So what I'm going to do is instead of regenerate response, I'm going to say create a persuasive email series of 8 emails on the topic of increasing your visibility. Each email will have one new tip. The audience is female entrepreneurs. Each email will have a story. I'm going to remove that.
Yeah.
There will be a video link to learn more on that tip. Call to action at the end is to learn more about the Visibility Voices Academy, or maybe to join. That's probably going to be a little pushy. I already know the way ChatGPT works, but that's okay.
Yeah.
We can tweak it. Call to action at the end is to join the Visibility Voices Academy. All right, let's see what comes up now. So I'm just reading real quick, and interestingly, it's already giving the story of, oh, you know what? Look, it's the same thing.
Wow. I can't believe it's doing that. Must be so many people, because I know it learns as it goes. So many people must have asked for things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so now it's starting to get smart and give them a template instead,
Mm-hmm.
which in a way is better, but
Right, right. Okay. Well, then let's try this again. We'll just try one more time. And what I'm going to say is create a persuasive email series of 8 emails on the topic of increasing your visibility. Um, let's see if I remove the link to the video and I remove the asking for the story.
yeah, I thought you did remove the story already.
And let's say this should not be a template. Or create 8 separate emails, not a template, right? Like,
Yeah,
might as well just be specific, right? Going
right,
back to the
right.
first S, specific. Okay.
Now, the one thing I did catch, I think it said in this first email, it's
Right.
like, yeah, you got to take that out.
Right. Right. Unless now somebody may want to do like an actual series, like a real series where it's like maybe like a
Right,
series of 2 or 3 emails. And then you could say that you could reference
right,
to there being a continuation, but that's not what I was doing here.
right. And people just need to be aware. If they don't want that in their email, you could take that out and use most of the rest of it. I mean, it's going so fast I can't read it, but
Yeah. Yeah, that we have to remember that this is this is a machine writing our emails, right? It's not yet fine-tuned to your voice, to your
right.
clients, you know? That's why if you want a really, really stellar copy, that's why you hire somebody that has, like you said, who's an A writer.
Yeah, like I am. I'm a level
Like
of copy. I'm
yes.
a, I'm a level A master copywriter.
Let's see.
But yeah,
Okay, so
and
this
it
one.
wouldn't be as expensive as they think just to
Mhm.
tweak stuff.
So what's cool is it took my feedback of having the story and then incorporated that into the series. Even though
Yeah,
I had to ask it to write 8 different emails.
yeah. But see, this is originally what you wanted. So,
Okay, cool. So I've got 8 emails here. Great.
mhm.
And again, like sometimes it's just having words on paper to start. That is what you need to write, to create.
It's just a spark of something that gets you where you want to be.
Hmm. Right. That's
And
spark.
it's like
You just
you
need
could sit
something
there
there.
for hours and try to think of something, but yet ChatGPT takes minutes.
Hmm.
Virtually in a minute or two, you got 8 emails, and you could always tweak them
Right.
to sound like you.
Hmm. When I was a director of communications at a healthcare organization, I had to self start every single email. And
Exactly.
it's, yeah. At one point, when I hired somebody, I had her do it.
Hmm.
And then I would just edit it. Right.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, definitely the hardest part is coming up with,
Right.
you know, what's funny? My test to get her on, I actually gave her a written test. And what I did is I gave her, because we in communications, you know, it's kind of like very similar to press releases and stuff like that. So you take the most important bullet points and then you have to write it into something. So I
Right.
gave her, this is the scenario, these are the bullet points, and I had to ask her to write it.
Mm.
Did a good job, and I hired her as my second, you know, second under me. So yeah, you have to. I mean, it's definitely It's not, that is a skill. That is definitely a skill.
Yep.
So not everybody is necessarily born being a great writer.
Right. And ChatGPT is good enough.
Okay, awesome. So let's do some headlines or subject lines. That's another possibility too. So, Tony, what's something that you'd like to create over the next month?
Some courses.
Okay. So, would you like to? So, how can I support you today with ChatGPT?
I think we talked about we came up with a name, and I think I really like that.
Okay.
And
So, let
so
me
create some headlines for um
create catchy headlines for what platform are you thinking?
um I haven't decided yet.
Okay.
I know
So,
I
go
think
ahead.
I'm gonna make up some like lead magnets, like shorter courses that I can sell cheap and get people interested. So, and then just keep upping them to the next level and making the
What's
courses
cool
better.
is that with headlines, titles, webinars,
Mhm.
books, talks, you can literally have the same name, the same title,
Right.
and just slightly tweak it to each
Yeah.
medium. So, yeah, we can create maybe catchy title.
Uh-huh.
And so I think that's what we did last time actually.
Yeah.
We created the title, it had the butterfly transformation something.
Mhm.
I can't
Something like
remember.
that.
Butterfly transformation. Okay.
Yeah.
So would you like to? I think we actually created the title of the course. So, so you already have the course name. We'll go back through that video and find that course name. So what
Mhm.
else then would you like to create?
Um
Did I hear you say a lead magnet?
yeah. Make make a smaller course like a lead magnet for it
Okay.
and have that be on a transformation, but just on a smaller scale where they get like a taste of it.
So create catchy title for a course um, from butterfly transformational journey about create catchy title for actually it was for a lead magnet.
Mhm. And I just thought maybe I could do one of them on productivity to start so they could find time to do some of the other stuff.
About okay, so what about productivity? Uh about productivity,
Yeah, like double their um get twice as much done in half the time or something.
like get twice as much done in half the time. That's
Mhm.
what it comes up with. Unlock your productivity potential, soar through the butterfly transformational journey, and achieve twice the results in half the time. So I didn't ask for it specifically to say butterfly transformational journey, so
Yeah,
it included in there.
right.
Um, so maybe we can re-say it. And actually, let's look at. Let me stop this and share the PowerPoint because I didn't do what we said. ChatGPT for great headlines. You include the topic and the subject, the character or word limit, if possible.
Mhm.
Actually, this is for headlines, not titles, but it's similar concept.
Similar, yeah.
Ask ChatGPT for catchy, which I did. Ask for 3 or more options. That's what I didn't do. And ask to
Yeah,
include specific keywords. In this case, we're not including the specific keyword. So,
right.
yeah, you see, sometimes you have to do it
Mhm.
to know what you're doing or not doing. Okay, create catchy title for a lead magnet about, actually, create 3 catchy titles for a lead magnet about productivity, like get twice as much done in half the time. The company name is Butterfly Transformational Journey. Do not include name in title. I don't think, do you want to give it a word limit or a character limit? Or leave it open?
Nah, just leave it open and see what it comes up with.
Okay. Oh, who's the audience? Forgot about that. Audience.
Well, females. Let's do females. 40 plus.
Okay. Let's see what we come up with. Time mastery secrets. Unleash your inner productivity queen and double your accomplishments in half the time. Supercharge your productivity, empowering women 40 plus to achieve more in less time. Efficiency revolution. Okay, these are sound very male-y.
Yeah, they do. Very masculine.
The irony. Okay.
Yeah.
So let me add, but when you see in the previous one, it included it included that verbiage that we want.
Yeah.
So create audience woman plus. And actually the titles included stuff about women. We don't really necessarily want that. So I'm going to remove, in this case,
the women,
the audience. And I'm going to
put feminine touch or something. I don't know, a feminine voice.
With a feminine, or use a feminine voice.
Yeah.
Or we can just say lead magnet. Maybe I could just go back to putting the lead magnet in there. The name lead magnet by, and see what it comes up with. And then we can tweak it. Maybe we could say don't include. I mean, maybe, you know what? Maybe it'll include butterfly journey in there somehow.
Yeah.
Maybe it works. All right, let's test this and see what it comes up with. Time mastery blueprint. Unleash your productivity potential and master the art of getting more done in less time. Productivity hacks unveiled. Turbocharge. Okay, still very masculine.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, productivity overhaul makes me think of doing an overhaul on your car.
More feminine responses. Time goddess transformation. Efficiency diva's guide. Okay. So sometimes we're going to have a little tougher time with this.
Yeah.
Maybe the word productivity.
Yeah.
I'm thinking maybe it's the word productivity. So let's remove that. Create 3 catchy titles for a lead magnet by Butterfly Transformational Journey about getting twice as much done in half the time. What did you say?
Yeah, that's what I was going to suggest.
Twice as much done in half the time. Maybe I can say lead magnet for women. Should we try it like this, or should I add women in there?
Try it like that, and then we could always add for women.
The time-saving revolution. Unleash your potential and achieve double the results in half the time. It still sounds super masculine.
It does.
Oh, gosh. Okay. So, all right. So I'm going to say, create 3 catchy titles for a lead magnet for women by Butterfly Transformational Journey about getting twice as much done in half the time. Use butterfly-related imagery.
That's good.
The butterfly effect of productivity. Unlock your wings and achieve double the results in half the time. Flap your wings of efficiency. Transform your productivity and soar to new heights. Okay, we're getting better. The productivity metamorphosis. Ooh, that's cool.
Ooh, yeah.
Embrace your inner butterfly and multiply your output, getting twice as much done in half the time.
Yeah, I like that. I like the third one.
Still has like a little bit of like,
yeah.
But it's way better.
exactly.
Should we regenerate the response, or do you think there's another way?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Wings of productivity. Take flight on your transformational journey and achieve double the results in half the time. Butterfly effect of efficiency. Unleash your potential and watch your productivity soar to new heights. From caterpillar to time master. Embrace your inner butterfly and effortlessly double your
Oh,
accomplishments.
see, they're getting better.
Yeah. Should we regenerate again?
Go ahead. They're doing much better with this command.
The butterfly effect. Unlock your time management magic and achieve double the results in half the time. Yeah, I feel like maybe this could be like put this one with this section with
Yeah,
this title. Maybe we can like
exactly. Combine some.
wings of efficiency. Soar through your tasks with butterfly transformational journey and accomplish twice as much in half the time. Butterfly productivity mastery. Embrace transformation and flutter through your to-do list, doubling your output in half the time. So I like this one, the butterfly effect, unlock your
Yep,
time management magic.
yep.
Put it here. I like,
I like that metamorphosis one too.
right, where was that? Well, I liked metamorphosis. That stood out to me for sure.
Yeah.
Productivity metamorphosis. Embrace your
See,
inner.
funny, to good copywriters, the same thing stands out.
Yeah. Okay, how about 3 more results similar to these? And then after
Yep.
that, maybe we can um fly high with time mastery, unleash your inner butterfly and double your productivity in half the time.
No,
Efficiency, wings unleashed, embrace your transformational journey and accomplish twice as much in half the time. Time management butterfly. Okay, these I don't like.
nope, not at all.
So I like these. So we both like these two.
Yeah.
Unlike your the butterfly effect. Unlock your time management magic and achieve double the results in half the time. The productivity metamorphosis, embrace your inner butterfly and multiply your output. Maybe it's the productivity metamorphosis
Yeah.
with unlock your time management
Yep.
magic.
Yep. That's exactly what I was going to say. Those two together.
The productivity metamorphosis and unlock your time management magic and achieve double the results in half the time. Because
Hmm.
this actually, what I love about it is that it has both left brain and right brain.
Exactly.
So you get like the woo-woo feeling between metamorphosis and magic, but then you
Hmm.
also get like there's some results. You're actually going to get some results.
Yeah.
So it's got both of those. I like
Right.
it.
Yeah.
By the way, the last time we talked about the butterfly journey, we came up
Hmm.
with an outline for the course.
You're right. I
And it
think
was
we
really
did.
good. So definitely go back and look at that because it's going to cut down a lot for you.
Yeah.
Let's use ChatGPT again.
Uh-huh.
And why don't we say maybe like 3 headlines about different tips
Hmm.
related to, let's see what we come up with. Powerful prioritization, the key to doubling your productivity in half the time. Mastering time blocking, transform your schedule and amplify your efficiency, streamline your workflow, uncover the secrets of optimized productivity. Okay, it's not exactly what I wanted, but how about we say, let me do it like more like a blog post.
Hmm.
Actually, maybe we could say write a blog post.
Yeah.
Blog post with 3 tips for this title. Okay, embrace the power of prioritization, harness the magic of time blocking, optimize your workflow. Okay, so it's very left brain, very masculine
Hmm.
answers. What were you thinking about? Were you thinking more like healing? Or were you going to do some of these left brain stuff?
Some of the left brain stuff.
Okay,
'Cause
that's good. So you were going to include some of that as well.
yeah. Yeah, I was.
Okay. I think it really gives you a great framework. So I think that just for anybody watching this recording, and for anybody's here, that the best tip that we have based on ChatGPT, using this today for emails, if you want to create a series, ChatGPT is now using templates, is now offering templates more. So if you actually want them to give you the written emails, ask them for if you want to use a template, that's fine. But if you want all the written emails, ask them to write out the emails. So that's one tip that we learned today. The second tip for writing headlines and titles, catchy headlines and titles, is if you already have a theme that you want to use for your brand, make sure to ask ChatGPT to include that in as one of the commands.
Mm-hmm.
So in this case, the brand or the logo, or the brand, the name, it was related to butterfly transformation. So then asking them to add that verbiage really added to the interesting, like made it more captivating.
Yeah.
Period. It made it way more captivating, like 0 to 100 more captivating.
Exactly. And then we had it list, I think we had it list like 12 different ones. And then we took the two parts that we like the most. And the funny part is being it, because I consider you A-level now.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
It's because you're really good now. And you take the two that feel the best to you. You could combine them just like we did with that. We could still tweak it later, but
right.
it's a good enough start. And even if we tweak it, it's good enough.
Like I said in the training last month,
Mm-hmm.
if you're stuck between two and it doesn't make sense to do what we did, which is we combine this
right
with this subtitle, we can't do that. Then poll your audience.
Yeah.
Poll your audience and see which one they like the best.
Right. And you do that a lot. And it's really good because you want it to appeal to your audience. So half the time, that's the best thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you give them too many options.
Correct.
That's good.
Which is, I'm going to do a short on that about when you give too many options, and that could be a problem too. If you don't have a large audience, giving too many options might not help you get to an answer.
Correct.
When you have a super large audience, then yes, you could have 5 options, but to be the best, to be most specific and best, want to have 2 options, maybe 3.
Yeah, I wouldn't do more than 3 with most people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So awesome. Yay. So what was your biggest takeaway?
I was thinking about that right at the beginning. You know what really stood out to me? Believe it or not, it was your picture of the dog with the treat. Because now when I think of stairs, I'm going to think of that dog with the treat, and it should all pop back up. That was an excellent example.
And you know what? I came up with that idea to add a photo in the last training.
Yeah.
You didn't have.
And
remember I said it? I'm like,
yes.
I should have a photo of somebody. And I thought of somebody staring. But then when I was looking for photos of staring, I was like, you know what? These look kind of creepy.
Yeah. The dog was perfect.
The dog staring at a tree is perfect. Like there's an emotional reaction. Yeah, it's just it is perfect. Thank you for that. You see, this is what I like to ask, because it's good to see what images, especially since there's audio, visual, and kinesthetic learners. And so sometimes we just need a combination of different things.
Yeah, it was funny. As soon as you put it up, I'm like, okay, this is my biggest takeaway. I can tell you that right now.
Amazing.
It was perfect. It was perfect.
So thank you.
Only thing I would have liked better was Javi staring at the tree.
Right. Except that I'm not sure. I mean, maybe I'll get him to
yeah, that might be a little on the hard side though.
So you only have 3 seconds to make sure your headlines, subject lines, captions, and content grab your audience's attention quickly.
And the funny thing is that used to be 6 seconds. And now it's like people don't even give you, half the time they don't even give you 3 seconds. You got 1 second.
Yeah, that's
so you got to be really mindful on what you try to put in their face.
Yes.
Because too many people are giving them too many options.
Right.
And when they
The
have too many options, they don't make a decision.
the magic number now, on social media, I mean, it probably keeps going lower and lower, but if especially for video, you
Yeah.
need to grab their attention. I mean, it's for sure a second.
Yeah.
There needs to be at least a second, but like 2 to 3 seconds, you need to grab that attention because
You
if
have
not,
to.
you go on to the next thing.
Yep. You
Yeah,
see how a lot of them scroll through TikTok? If it doesn't get them in the first couple seconds, they're out of there.
right. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's why TikTok is actually super short form.
Yeah.
My third content item I was going to say was, and I forgot to add it, was test and tweak. Test and
Yeah.
tweak. The TNT.
Well, you're always
TNT.
saying that, so
Right. The TNT. But I have to remind everybody because sometimes we forget, including myself.
yeah.
Test and tweak, test and tweak, test and tweak. All right. Well, enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. And I will see you in a couple of weeks. Bye-bye. For more help growing your visibility and monetizing your brand, go to alexanderfigueredo.com. And if you like this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications. Thank you.